to our final speech of the night. Our final speaker of the night is Holly Pajak. And Holly's title of her speech is Clutter in Mind. This is project number 10 from Competent Communicator. Inspire your audience. Holly is preparing for a big and very, very important presentation. And today we get to see Holly Clutter for a third of that presentation that's about to happen in about 2 weeks, right?
No, next week.
Next week.
Wednesday.
Wonderful. All right, let's welcome Holly.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Toastmasters. Thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you tonight about some decluttering that you may have going on in your home. My name is Holly Pajak, and my business is Redesigned in Mind. And I work with people that are looking to downsize, or I like to say right-size their home, helping them to gain a streamlined and organized space, paying particular attention to aesthetics and spatial planning. My background is as an interior designer, and I like to help you keep what you love and need and really let go of what no longer serves you. And I'm sure as you look into your closets and into your homes, there's a lot of that going on, whether you really realize it or not. So what I'd like to do, first of all, tonight is have you take away a little homework assignment. And I've given everybody some garbage bags as they came in tonight. You have a white one and a black one. And I want you, at your convenience, take a little decluttering tour of your home. It can be in a week, it can be tonight, it can be a year from now, whatever suits your time frame. And I don't want it to be lengthy. It's only going to take you probably about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes tops, depending on how large your home is. I want you to use the white trash bag for trash and the darker trash bag for donatables or things that you want to give to family or friends, things that you don't want in your home anymore. So you're going to just tackle the surfaces. I don't want you to open the cupboard doors or look under the bed or go into closets, just the surfaces. So take your bag, walk through your house, take things that can be thrown away and put it into the white bag. Next, I want you to take the darker bag and take that same tour, this time looking for things that you don't want anymore, things you don't love, and they're not of use to you, and put them in that dark bag. Think about where you want to take them and throw the garbage away when you're done. That's going to start the process, and the idea here is to simply start with the surfaces. And as you start to see that your home can be cleared out as simply as that, it's going to become contagious, and you're going to continue the process. And tonight I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I can maybe help you work through the process, because a lot of people are paralyzed by their stuff and they really don't know where to start. So first I want to talk about Clutter Defined. This is, in my mind, what bogs you down. You may have your own interpretation, but this is my take on it. Things you don't use or you don't love. What am I keeping this for? Investigate and ask yourself truly, why do I need this? If I don't love it and I'm not using it, it needs to go. Things that are untidy or disorganized. You're going to find that relaxation comes much easier in a space that's uncluttered, and it makes for a clearer mind. Too many things in too small of a space. Obviously, if your cupboard's doors won't close when you try to shut them, if you got stuff hanging out of the drawers when you're trying to close the doors, if things are kind of creeping out from underneath the bed, there's a problem going on there. So I want you to look at those areas of your home. Anything that's unfinished. Chances are, if you haven't finished it in a year, you're probably not gonna. It's time to go. And things that are broken and can't be fixed. Why do you have them? So they need to go. Any questions so far? Anybody have anything else they want to talk about with clutter, what that means to them? Okay, let's move on to another area that's important in understanding clutter and why it happens into our homes, I want to just briefly explain about clutter personalities and maybe how they affect your life. This first one is the hoarder. And hopefully none of you have this problem going on. It can be very serious, and it's deep-seated and rooted in some insecurities, and usually psychological help is needed for this. The possessions that they keep are usually rooted in the insecurities of finances. So you'll find that they're keeping things like old egg cartons because they feel they may never be able to replace it, or cracked margarine containers, or old newspapers. All the things that are saved, it's because they feel they can't replace. The root of it comes from insecurity. So if there's an underlying hoarder that you're aware of, I urge that they seek some help on that. The defer, I think I'll do it tomorrow. That's a great one. The great procrastination, and I think a lot of us can probably relate to this personality type. I know I have those tendencies too, especially about getting up here and speaking. So if you notice that you have a lot of household projects that you keep putting off, or things that need to be cleaned or repaired, that tends to get into the defer category and that big procrastination. And one thing to keep in mind there is you want to keep the ball rolling, and there's not going to be any more energy in tomorrow than there is today. So it's almost like a stone. If you throw a stone and you see it keep rolling, try to keep that going in your life. Just keep it rolling. And then there's the rebel. This is my favorite one. I don't want to do it. You can't make me do it. I'm just not going to do it. And this usually is our child coming out in us. And typically someone that has this type of behavior doesn't, or was instructed as a child to pick up, and they don't want to do that now as an adult. Well, come on, let's get over it now. We are adults now. And typically you're going to see someone that has this type of behavior that leaves dishes around. They don't like to pick up their clothes and throw them in the hamper. It's that type of clutter, just kind of messiness. And then we have the perfectionist. Next week, I'm going to get organized and everything's going to be perfect, 110%. Well, guess what? There is no 110%. There's never the perfect solution to anything. And the thing that I like to keep in mind here, because I have those tendencies, is the 20-80 rule. That fixing 20% of every job completes 80% of the problem. So always remember, there's no 100%. Just strive for 80. Any questions so far? We all understand why we've got our behaviors going on out there? Reforming your identity. So we've talked about these different behaviors that go along with it. So let's talk about decluttering and how it gets into this right sizing of our life. And the process of right sizing has more to do with refining your personal character than it does with just selling or getting rid of your stuff. If you decide you want to live your life out with cleaner environment, you're going to have to do an overhaul of your belongings, and sometimes that's emotional and very, very personal to people. And you go through some kind of an upheaval within yourself, and it's almost like a total reinvention of the person that you are. It's a conscious, practical, and physiological evolution in the way that we live out our life. In reforming your identity and moving above and beyond these material attachments, you have to let go of the social norms that we've are put on us by society. If you drive down a street, any street really, there's a store on every corner, there's a mall going up every time you turn around. It's almost like they say, whoever buys the most stuff wins at the end of the day. It's just our society has inundated us with stuff, and buy more and buy more and buy more. No wonder we've got hoarders and clutter everywhere. So it's a process, one that you have to work towards, but letting go gives us a cleaner, clearer space and almost gives us more energy. And how do we sabotage ourselves when we go through this process? We all do it because it comes down to, I think, basically back to the defer. It's just easier not to do it. So things that we say to ourselves to sabotage us in this process, I've put together some questions that maybe have run through your mind. I see some folks laughing already. If I get rid of this wedding vase, I'm going to feel guilty. I'm sure everyone out there has possessions that were given to them by someone and they're hanging on to it. They hate it, they think it's ugly, they don't want it, but they hang on to it because someone gave it to you. Well, I think the responsibility here when you receive a gift is to say thank you, but really it's not to keep it forever. I think we think of ourselves as stewards of the gift, that we have to just hold on to it and treasure it forever. Well, that's really not the case. If it's clogging up your life, get rid of it, keep a few sentimental items and let go of the rest of them. But I might need 7 sleeping bags one day. You're always afraid, we're always afraid to throw things out for fear we're gonna need it again. How many times does that happen to us? So what I'd like to ask you to do on this one is maybe take 5 sleeping bags, put them in a box or a bin or a bag, and label it, open this in 6 months, a year, and put it in your shed or put it in your closet or wherever it's not going to be in the way and clutter up more space. If you haven't missed it in 6 months to a year, chances are you're not going to miss it. It's time to go. I think this brooch might be valuable someday. Now, I know I have some things like that I think, oh, you know, I shouldn't get rid of this. This might be worth some money someday. Well, you know what? Take 10 minutes, 20 minutes, go online, look it up. See if there's any value to it at all, or if it's just some cheap, 5-cent piece you could have gotten in Woolworths years ago. Or ask a professional appraiser. They're happy to give you guesstimates or estimates on things, because if it is worth something, they're hoping that you will sell it to them. I want this chartreuse muumuu to go to a good home. Now that is true, especially for older folks. They've treasured their items through many, many years, and they want it to go to just that special person. Well, if you have things like that that are clogging up your life, that you don't love, you're just hanging on to them because, maybe pick a favorite charity that you have and donate it there. Somebody that, some of these charities, I know people hold them dear to their heart. So maybe pick something, make it your cause, and your prized possessions can go there. And then the big one, I want to declutter, but I can't get motivated. Make the project small. Maybe tackle one bookshelf. Clear that off, clean it up, make it pretty, and then maybe buy yourself, or not buy yourself, take something, I didn't say that, did I? Take something from another room and embellish that area. Make that area your spot. So start small, and the rewards will come. I want to show you a project that I worked on where I took the steps that we've talked about a little bit here tonight. Clean an area. You're going to see before and after picture. This is before. I cleared the area. I just took everything off. I didn't find a home, I just took it off. You clean it. Then you look at the items. You have your bags. You look, what am I going to get rid of? What am I going to throw away? And what am I going to donate or give to friends and family? So you clear, clean, look, and then you sort, and then you renew. And you almost look at the pictures and you can see the relaxation here versus here. This one kind of makes you crazy. This is calm and pleasing. So I urge you, when you go home tonight, take a look around at your surroundings. And is it making you nervous and a little bit crazy? If so, take the decluttering tour and start 2012 out with a simpler, cleaner, and more energetic in 2012.